We're just getting older, world is getting colder. Trying to get sober, Lord help me get stronger. World is on my shoulders.
How are you doing today? This is the 12 at 12 podcast, and this is the podcast about real life, real people, and recovery, growth and development, because that's what this is about. And if you have not yet subscribed, tap that subscribe button and share for more. Also, we are sponsored by First Step Recovery. If you need any help with substance abuse problems, mental disorders, please contact them. The number is on the screen, and they will be happy to help you. So we have a special guest today, Nick.
What's up?
Yeah, Nick. Finally, he showed up. We've been missing each other for a while, but we're here, and we're here to bring you the truth about it. So, Nick, tell me something. What's your drug of choice?
It started out as weed, and then...
So that was the first thing you did was weed?
Yeah.
Believe it's a gateway drug?
Not necessarily, but a lot of people would say yeah.
Okay. So where did it go from weed after you started?
Oh man, being from the South, straight to that lean.
Oh, to the lean?
Yeah.
Oh, you was double cupping it?
Yeah. Since I was like 14. That's what led me into opiates and all that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Now I had somebody who was doing lean before, and lean could be addicting. Like if you would just stop doing lean, yeah, exactly. You already knew I was gonna go because I did lean before, but I didn't get to the point where like withdrawal. I just tried it because that was the popular thing. Everybody doing it down south back in the day. Everybody was on lean and things like that. You know, so I definitely tried it before, but I never really got into too much like that. But my boy, when he got off of it, bro, it was like he was going through it like heavy withdrawals off of sipping lean.
He will. You definitely will. See, back home in Alabama, it's in Georgia and all that.
That's where you from, Alabama?
Yeah, it's more of like a status symbol, really.
Yeah.
Kind of like how now the grills, the bust downs and shit is, but back then, it was if you got that cup, you know, you doing something.
Yeah.
Especially if you keep it. And I kept it. And later on, I started mixing it with Xanaxes, eating Xannies and shit like that.
Oh, so you were just going down.
Yeah, I lived one crazy lifestyle, wild.
Dang, and you say it was more like a representation of your status because it was hard to come across, right?
Yeah, it definitely was.
Like you had to know some plugs to be able to get some real lean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're doing it, and
especially in the earlier, like the later 2000s, like after 2010, for sure.
Oh yeah, for
earlier
sure.
2000s, not so much, but later on as it progressed.
So what brought you into that? Just wanting to fit in, just because everybody else was doing it?
See, I grew up with a bunch of older folks. Everybody off with righteously. They're 60, 50 years old now, and they was doing it, and I got to doing it. But the first time that got me on it and got me trying it and liking it was when I was sick. And my grandma had a bottle of that hydrocodone 500, the clear.
Okay.
I love the way it made me feel. Like a euphoric feeling.
So once you tried it, it's stronger than weed. It just made you lean back and relax.
Yeah,
felt cooler than the mud, right?
Yeah, just chill.
So okay, then let's get into gang banging and addiction. Have you been in the gang, right?
Yeah, I'm affiliated.
You're affiliated. Okay. Did drug use lead you on your path to joining or being affiliated, or was it just your friends? Does that go hand in hand?
Sometimes, not so much. I just didn't have a father figure in my life, and the people I was around were like family. They taught me shit. The older folks that I was around taught me more about what a man's like, or what I thought at that time of what a man was like.
Yeah.
So it led me into those roles, and then everybody I'm cool with still this day back home, a lot of them are still affiliated.
Oh, so the lack of the father figure, you have any brothers or anything?
Yeah, I got a little brother. I went to boot camp, and so I'm stay out this year, bro. You know, I don't want you going down these routes. And one of my best friends that's passed away, he wound up putting my brother down and all that. So.
Oh, so that's
wound up getting put in, so he's also affiliated too.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So basically it was you were reaching out looking for that father figure that you didn't have in your life.
Somewhat, yeah.
Somewhat.
I was just lost, teenage boy,
What happened to your father? Did he pass, or was he locked up? Or
No.
How did that happen?
So he started out. I've been around drugs my whole life. Been around people selling dope my whole life. My dad sold dope for a long time, and a little bit after my brother got born, he started smoking crack and just doing the most. My mom and dad got a divorce. I was about 6 years old when that happened, and just I kind of blamed myself for so long because I took my mama to the crack houses that he would mess with, to these places that she didn't know nothing about, and it just caused them to split. So I took that burden on for a very long time. I was a very angry person.
You was mad at yourself for your actions.
Yeah, I felt like it was all my fault, really. So with that anger and with that aggression, of course, my mom she put me in football. I played football all the way up until like my 9th grade year. I wouldn't play for my coach but all up until there, she was trying to do things to keep my aggression out. But when I wasn't in football practice or playing a game, I was in the streets.
Yeah.
I mean, I started selling weed when I was like 11 and a half, 12 years old. And then as I got older, I started moving more and more, and everything just kind of snowballs.
Yeah. At those times, you were still using heavy drugs. At those times, you were still doing it lean, and you were popping the Xannies and smoking weed. At those times, do you think it affected your judgment on a lot of the situations that you were involved in?
Oh, most certainly.
Yeah.
Most certainly. I've been in and out of jail. I've caught charges, but I beat them because it's hard to tell on self.
Yeah.
Me and my brother took off to Chicago to meet some of our folks up there, and didn't tell her or call her for like 2 weeks. And finally, we was like, man, we need to call her because she's gonna want to put a missing persons on us or something.
Yeah.
And we called her, and she was like, y'all need to get the hell home. Y'all ain't seen or heard from y'all in so long. Woo-de-woo-de-woo. And we just kind of started laughing. Like, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be harder said than done. And she said, what do you mean? Well, we're snowed in. If you know anything about the South, it don't snow down there.
Yeah.
Maybe every 10 years, but it was like caught in a blizzard.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So she was like, get y'all's asses home. And we told her. She's like, there ain't no damn blizzard. Y'all must be too high or something. Because she knew we smoked. We've never really kept anything from her. But she thought we was just tripping with her. And then we told her, no, we're in Chicago. Like, we're down here on the south side right now, snowed in. So we wound up coming home. She wigged out for a little bit, but then hell, we wound up leaving again.
Dang.
So I mean, we kind of did what we wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, she taught us right from wrong, like how to cook, how to do certain things that we need to know how to do, and how to treat women, and how to respect others and elders. Like, we got that from her, but for the most part, the streets taught us everything else we know.
Yeah.
I mean, my brother went to prison when he was 18 for armed robbery. Caught it when he was 16. They waited till he was 18 to send him down. So that happened.
How's your brother doing now?
Oh, he's good. He's, when he first moved up here, he was doing really great. Married and all that, got divorced, but then he got with this other chick, and she's kind of been bringing him down. All she does is want to smoke weed and lay around.
Oh, that's a bad choice right there. Listen, people. Whoever you partner up with, that's an important thing. Because that person, even if you're trying to do right, that person could tear you down.
Yeah, most certainly. And she brought him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been telling him, bro, if you can quit smoking long enough, on the first step, get you together, and I'll help you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because that is my little brother. That's my little partner in crime. I don't want to see him down bad,
Yeah.
So I deal with that. But other than that, yeah, we've done a lot of things. I mean, kick doors and rob drug dealers, all kinds of crazy.
Dang, and a lot of that is surrounded just by going out, doing your thing, and surround. One thing I realize is, with using drugs, you make a lot of decisions you wouldn't make if you weren't using drugs.
Yeah.
I look at it like, especially if you were making some type of money, the amount of money you'll make, you spend on drugs. and then it caused you to go out and have to get more money because the amount of money, even if you was on the street hustling or doing whatever you were doing, you're still spending this X amount of money that you could literally put down to be doing something or trying to get yourself right to be legal.
Well, I know for me, for example, though, not everybody's like this, but like when I'm getting high and I'm doing it, typically I'm gonna sell dope to supply my habits, so I ain't really coming out of pocket.
Okay.
On whatever I'm doing. That's how I've always been. Cause I mean, I do have that hustler mentality, and I have sold a lot of dope back home. So I've never really been like, damn bad. I can't wait till this next paycheck. Like, but I hardly ever really worked a actual real job too, though. Cause I mean, most of my life's been hustling and grinding, finessing, like just by any means get that dollar.
Yeah, but do you ever think that you'll be on that path of just like, yo, you know what, I don't wanna mess with not hustling anymore or do what I, you know?
Honestly,
or is that something you feel like you're gonna do just for the on and off for the rest of your life?
Nah, I'm done with it now. That's why I got in recovery. But honestly, if you would have asked me that like just a year ago, I would have probably told you it's out your rapid ass mind, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I've since being in recovery and learning more about myself and learning and also understanding that I ain't gotta live that lifestyle, and I can separate it, but I can still have some of my ties to what I am, because it is all about being a better person in the end. Instead of taking all the negative, I'm just been flipping everything to the positive. I mean, I still got a lot to grow and shit to do, of course. I'm not perfect.
But you think you're doing better than
most certainly,
a lot better than you were.
Most certainly.
Your outlook on life is kind of different than you had, like you said, a year ago. You would have been like, yo, what, stop hustling, stop doing it. It's the only type of way. Being around these people, the only type of way. But now, do you look at it more like, you know what? Now it's time for me. I know the Bible says that, you know, you put childish things aside, and then you start becoming a man. I know, man, like it says, a man work, they have to eat. Otherwise, you know, Uncle Sam's gonna want to have to do tests, and then when you're gonna get older, anyways, and then when you get to that age, you know, nobody wants to. The only thing left for you to do then is you're gonna either hustle and then end up back in jail or back in, and it's just a revolving cycle. You know, what do you think about with legalized marijuana? Since that's something you were heavy on during your addiction process, how do you feel about that?
Even though like I've came to realize about myself, I can't just smoke weed and it not lead me to other things. But there are beneficial purposes in it alone, just for like cancer cells and all that. Like there is medical benefits that's been proven.
So you believe on the medical side, but not the recreational side?
Yeah. If you got medical issues that need to be solved, cool. Like it helps with PTSD and a lot of other like severe medical issues. But also though, like it's so relaxed that you can say that, hey, I got a throbbing pain in my head every day, or my legs messing with me, and they'll give it to you. I think there need to be more of a stricter guidelines on who can get it and who can't. Like, I definitely believe in the medical purposes of it, but as far as like the recreational, no.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, because I have my medical card in Florida. I feel like a lot of people should do a lot of checking on the person before they put them on. You know what I'm saying? You need to go through a stricter screening process, because they have people literally getting on it, getting addicted to it, and they were smoking so much, taking so much, because they had some strong stuff that people were falling out, hallucinating, having psychosis problems, everything on medical marijuana in Florida, that they had to say, listen, you can't even make the marijuana this percentage of highness anymore. They had to make a law to listen. You can't have this higher percentage anymore. You got to have this. They knocked it down to a lower percentage because like it's just too strong. And then people would just, even though they give you a medical dosage that you're supposed to take, still it was just too much for the people to do it. They just felt like it was, you know, a legal way to do it. They weren't using it when they needed to use it. And when you got a recreational, people are just gonna go out of their mind with it. They're just gonna, hey, how much they want anytime, and they don't even need it. And then it ends up being a problem.
Well, I know, like, for me, because I like smoking, but it also helped me cope with, like, my depression, anxiety. It brings that all down. But it also snowballs, because I've dealt with depression, anxiety since I was a child.
Yeah.
Because of all the things. Plus, when I've gotten older, being shot at and all that, I wish I could be the type of person that could just smoke and that'd be it. But since I do have addictive personality, and because my father was also an addict, I take on that trait more so. Like my brother, he smokes every day and don't do nothing but smokes. So, I mean, to each his own really on that also, but they definitely, like we said, they need to have stricter guidelines on who and who can't get it and access to it.
Yeah, exactly, because like,
I mean, like in other countries and stuff where it's totally legalized and all that, less teenage kids actually do it too, though. So, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah, definitely.
You just gotta pick your demon.
Yeah. So you're telling me that you believe in God during your time of addiction. Tell me about how faith helped you with breaking out of that mindset that you had before.
Well, I've always been a spiritual person, but I've never really had that strong connection or belief. This last time when I did a bid in Indiana, at first I didn't have nothing much to read but the Bible.
How long did you do?
9 months.
9 months, okay.
Yeah. So I didn't have much to do. I read the Bible, and I got more into it, and it was like the book just spoke to me. Like I just opened it up, and that's what I needed to hear or read that day.
Yeah.
And then through my process of doing recovery and stuff, when I got out in November, like I started praying more and reading more and listening to Bible verses or other things that has to do with strengthening my faith. And today, I honestly can say, like, my faith in Yahweh or Yeshua is way more higher than it's ever been. Like, I know most of the time if I have a problem or something I feel like is out of my hands, I pray about it, and he normally guides me in the right direction or gets rid of whatever the problem may be that's bothering me.
Have you ever lost hope during your addiction? Because I know you gained that faith, and praise God that He gave you that insight into a bigger relationship with Him. Because God I highly believe that God had to open up the doors. For you. You can have somebody who try to teach you the Bible, this, that, teach you, hey, this is the way or that's the way all the time. But then when God speaks to you, you pretty much know which way you're going.
Yeah, most certainly.
You know what I'm saying? So you got that faith in just through reading and through learning about Yeshua, learning about God, and changing your perception and your outlook on life and becoming what they call born again, which is a new creation. During that time of addiction, that hopelessness, how did that affect you? Did that lead you to seeking more of God, even though you heard it, or how did that work?
No, when I was down bad, hopeless. Like before I moved up here, bro, I was just, because by then I was on heroin and I was like just going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was lost, I wanted to die. Hell, I tried killing myself 3 different times. I didn't really have that belief. I just lost all connection with God. I didn't see the reason for living. Like why go through all this pain? There's so many people that was around me that was dying, getting locked up, or just horrible stuff happening. And I just kind of fell back from that. But once I moved up here and I had gotten clean, I kind of got that back, and then I was dealing with other things outside of after I got clean that kind of put me back on the track of using again. And I was just real lost again until when I got locked up and I read that book again, and I was actually reading about hopelessness. It's funny you said it, yeah. I was actually reading about it, and reading about like the strength and the forgiveness and all that goes along with it, and it was just like something clicked. And after that, I was like, yeah, when I get out, I want to do recovery and work more on me and figure out what's really the root of the problem. And through all that, I found out that a lot of my problem was just the depression and anxiety and other things that has plagued me.
So before, did you like blame other people, and at this point in time you was like, you know what, I'm taking accountability, that is something with inside me that I have to work on. I have to work on the spiritual side because that's what I'm lacking. Did you blame other people in your time of hopelessness, or was it
some of it I did, but a lot of it I was really blaming me. Like I had just kind of given up on life, like I said. I mean, I got kids and stuff. I just lost it all. I was just a lost soul.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only real way I can say it. I dealt with a lot of demons and a lot of things through life because of the lifestyles I lived. I thought somebody like me couldn't be forgiven or even have a chance to make it to heaven. But
that's a big lie of the enemy. That when I talk to people, a lot of people think that they think, hey, you know what, man, God will never forgive me, or they play with hell like it's a joke. I want to go to hell and this and that, but that's just a sense of hopelessness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because why would you? I tell people like this, even spiritually, why would you want to feel down? Why would you want to be spiritually dead? You know, we're feeling like life is inside of your body when you get that connection with God. Yeah. You know, some people be like, hey man, you smile too much, or yo, how you gonna be positive about a negative situation? I'd be like, it's God, but then they want you to be miserable with them.
Misery loves company.
Misery loves company. Or they want you to take that substance with them because that's the way they're dealing with their problems. So then they expect you, like, you got to deal with the same problem they're dealing with, the same way they're dealing with it. No. We're all grown. You deal with it your way, I deal with it my way. You know, and once you find that peace and you went through hopelessness and then you find that hope, Bible calls the blessed hope, you find the Lord and Savior. You feel that hope. You feel that peace knowing that, you know, if I was to lose my life today, I'm going to be in a better place. And then you start moving better. Then it's like, you know what? I don't need anything outside to make me feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good myself. I don't hate myself anymore. I love myself. So now I can move in love. And if you're moving in love, people, you're moving in power. That's a fact. Yeah. If you don't have love in your heart, you're weak. I don't care who you are. You could try to be the most aggressive person, the most gangsterous person. Mm-hmm. Most of the people who walking around like they're gangsters and this and that a lot of times and just want to be the hardest people is because they're trying to cover up for the hurt and pain they're dealing with.
Yeah, hurt people.
Hurt people. He said it. You said it right, bro. Hurt people. Mm-hmm. So they don't want to, heal people, help people get healed. But if they're hurt, they're going to do nothing but bring you down or bring other people down with them. So it's like, get rid of that hate in your heart, start moving in love, and then that's God's love. Listen, it don't matter what you say, you know what I'm saying? Words don't hurt me. I love myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely love myself
today. You feel me? It's like, yo, you know what? Man, you can hate me all you want. You can say what you want to say with me. Now we got a right to defend ourselves. Don't get it twisted. Now you get it wrong. I will defend myself. But to go out looking for people or having to walk around like this all day, like, yo, I just got a chip on. I don't like to do that because I was at a point in my time of my life. That's how I was. You know, I smile a lot of times, but a lot of times I wasn't smiling, going through PTSD, anxiety, depression, whatever, and going through it. And it's like, that's not a good feeling, bro. I like to smile. I like to kick back and just sit back and, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's time to be serious. You're not gesturing around, but I'm not clowning all day. But you know what? I like to be happy. I like to laugh. I like to have a good time. You know, I like to, hey, you know what, man? I like to just, hey, I don't care what other people think about me. I'm going to keep a smile on my face. And that seems like that's what you found when you found God. You know, you found that peace in your life. And then, you know what? I don't gotta be this way no more. I don't gotta sit here and put on I call it a game face front.
Yeah.
You know, because you know at the end of the day, nobody really wants to just be mad all day.
No.
As us as human beings, we're not even meant to be sitting
emotionally exhausting. I don't see how I did it for so long, because it's exhausting as hell, mentally, physically, just.
It is, bro. It is, bro.
I'm glad I ain't like that today. I walk around clowning, smiling all the time.
Bro, that's because you found it's peace.
Yeah.
And one thing I don't like to do is have people in my life who gonna disrupt that.
That part.
And that's why I even talk about with relationships. Like, man, listen, man, who you deal with, your friends, your surroundings, the people you're around, you got to be careful, because they will literally bring you down with that negative energy, bro. And you can feel the energy when you get around a person. Like, hold on, something's off about this guy, or something's off about this lady, man. I don't know what it is. To then be around them long enough,
you'll know. You know, vibes and the energy, man. She'll tell you everything.
It'll tell you everything. Like, you know what? It's a reason why I didn't like that. It's a reason why. You know, some people, they'll get around me, they'll be like, listen, I didn't really understand you too much when I first met you.
Me?
Anybody talking about me? You know, because people will always put a judgment on you, even when they don't know you. It's just how it goes, you know. But eventually, that true side is gonna show. Eventually, you're gonna see what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? You know, hey, this person not that bad of a person. Or if they were quiet before, they might get a little more comfortable. Then you're like, but that person's kind of cool, you know.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I, since I met this man, you know, he seemed like he been chilling, cooling. Since I met him, you know what I'm saying? When you see people smiling, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know, you know, everybody might not believe in God is one thing, but if you see a person smiling, that at least shows that they got some type of joy, but that's the
inner peace.
Inner peace going on with you, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be around nobody who's not happy like that, man. Like if every time I see you 7 days a week, you got a mean mug on your face, I might say hello, but I don't want to be around you, because I'm like, this guy here got some demons they dealing with, and I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, don't want to put them off on me.
Exactly. What are some of the plans you got for the future?
Well, I'm going to go to school, college for welding classes so I can get certified. And eventually I'm going to try to get with that. After I get certified, I'm going to start putting in applications for offshore oil rigs. Mm-hmm. Work on those for a few years and save up a lot of money so I can open up a couple businesses, build a couple houses, flip them and stuff, to where when my kids finally do get old enough, they'll have their own homes. I can hand them businesses over, just generational wealth.
Okay, nice. I
never used to think about nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was like, well, they got what they need today. We can go mess this little bag up, go see what we can get tomorrow. It's no longer about that. It's all about making sure they're set for life. That's the whole reason why I do what I do now. It's for them. I've lived my life, per se. Now I'm just living it to have a better life for them and set them up, so they never have to go through the things I went through. It's mainly what I keep focused on.
So basically, how you didn't have a father leading you, you went down the wrong path.
Yeah.
You don't want that to be the same way.
I kind of put my kids in the same position I'm in right now, but
exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, bro. It seems like you're on a great path, man. You got your mind going the right way, brother.
Yeah. Some days it's hard, some days, it's easy.
Hey, but that's why we got a saying, hey, we take it one step at a time. That's it. We just take it one step at a time. You know, we can't predict the future, but
bad days always pass. Tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you keep breathing, tomorrow's a new day. So don't let today bring you down on what happened today in your lives or what happened in the past. It don't dictate your future. Just move it one day at a time, one step at a time.
Yeah.
And things will get better. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the people?
No.
Nope. Well,
we're gonna be on spot there.
We're gonna wrap it up today. That's the show. Appreciate you coming in, Nick, showing love to the show, giving people your testimony, and giving some good insight about you and your struggles with addiction. A lot of people deal with addiction problems here, and not only here, but worldwide, and people deal with them in different ways. You know, it's all the same story, but different things that happen inside of that story when it comes to addiction. Mm-hmm. It's only gonna lead to one place, and that's death and jail, and a lifetime of misery. So
see it.
So we fighting against it. We're fighting against this addiction problem, this addiction crisis from here to worldwide. And we thank you all for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next show. We appreciate you tuning in, and God bless you all. Have a blessed day.